Hey friends! So we are officially at our halfway point here in Korea, and so I thought it would be really fun to do a 6-month update of things that we are really liking out here and things that we will not be too terribly sad to leave. So let's just get into it. I'm gonna start with the dislikes because I want to end this on a high note. So thankfully the dislikes are much smaller. My list of dislikes are much smaller than what we've really enjoyed out here. So number one, and actually these aren't in any real particular order, these are just how I wrote them down, the order I wrote them down. So the first is the drivers, cars, scooters, whatever. They're nuts out here. It makes me actually really thankful that we're not driving out here. I can't even tell you how many times we have almost been run over. I mean, the scooters especially come out of nowhere, and it's a lot of alleys here where we are. And so, you know, there's no, you literally have to stop in any intersection to make sure, because by the time you hear them, I mean, they're already by you. So I will not miss that. It's just it's interesting. Traffic laws are not a thing here. We see cars running red lights constantly. We see cars honking at cars stopped at a red light constantly. It's interesting. The second is humidity. I will not miss the humidity. I'm not made for it. My husband doesn't mind it. He grew up where it's very humid. I have never lived anywhere with humidity like this before. And given that we're only here a year, you know, there's no time to acclimate to it. So I feel like I'm just constantly sweaty and gross, and like I have this sheen to my face. And I've tried different these like wipes to absorb. I've tried this powder. There's just really nothing that combats the humidity, and I mean, you just feel like you're in a shower in your clothes, and it's gross and super hot. We're now in the 100% humidity days, and so that makes it even worse. Thankfully, we are about a month from being on the other side of this, so I am really looking forward to that. The third is they do a lot of spitting and hacking here, and by they I mean it's more a thing I've seen from men here. It's just really gross. I mean, you see loogies on the sidewalks everywhere. You hear lots of hacking. Related to that, another on my list, we'll just call this number 4, is the smoking. I'm not sure if that causes all of their hacking, but smoking is a huge thing out here, and they smoke unfiltered cigarettes, which, I mean, cigarette smoke, the smell in general is not pleasant, but unfiltered cigarettes, it's gross. It's gross, and it's everywhere. I mean, they have tables outside restaurants here for people to smoke, and it's more like a social community thing. So if one person's smoking, then there's typically a few more smoking with them at the same time, so you're just either sitting or walking through billows of smoke, and it's just not pleasant. Let's see, number 5 is so something I found out here, they really like bar soap in public bathrooms here, and I have a picture. I'll try to insert it close around here so you can see. There are some places that will have liquid soap, but some train station bathrooms or rest areas, temple bathrooms, a lot of different places have bar soap, and it's like bar soap on a bar, and it just feels dirty. You feel gross. I've actually started just carrying my own soap with me in my purse because I don't want to use communal bar soap. The sixth thing is, this isn't so much a dislike, just more something I have had to get used to. It will be something that I will be glad to not have to deal with anymore, but it's business hours. So a lot of places out here don't actually open until 10 or later. Most businesses by us are 11 or later, and that includes coffee shops, restaurants, just any kind of store in general. There are certain stores, like we have a Daiso near us, and that opens at 10, but 10 to 11 seems to be the set time, which I've had to adjust that. I've never been somebody that like always goes out for my morning coffee or anything, but there have been times I've needed to run errands, and then I have to remember that I have to wait until, you know, early afternoon to do that. So just something interesting. The next dislike is I am just not really a city person. This move has definitely cemented that for me. I don't mind certain aspects of it, and there are certain things that are nice, you know, the convenience of having things everywhere, but just living right in the hub of the hustle and bustle and the constant goings on, it's not my favorite. Thankfully, our apartment we're very close to a lot of the really popular areas, but we're a little far away that we don't have any noise. So, you know, we don't have to deal with, you know, it's nothing like too terrible. We don't have to deal with horns beeping all throughout the night or loud music or anything like that. It's just the constant busyness is not my style of life. And the last dislike, and hopefully nobody comes for me by saying this, but it's just living with the COVID restrictions. Their COVID restrictions out here are super intense, and so that has been a huge challenge. It can be very isolating at times. So we live off base, and so there's different restrictions for on base versus off base. So off base, we can't have anybody over at our house, and so we haven't been able to have anybody over to our house, which for me is such a struggle because I love hosting things. I used to host game nights and dinners, and you know, hosting my kids' friends, and we haven't been able to do any of that, and it's been very taxing. It is something I will be so glad to be on the other side of, because it's just sad, really. Another restriction is wearing a mask outside everywhere is exhausting, especially when it's 100% humidity. I mean, it's terrible. So now that it's been really bad outside, you know, we haven't been really adventuring too much, just because it's not fun to be walking around in 90-degree weather with 100% humidity with a mask all day. It's just not fun. And then there's certain other ones that, you know, are more annoyances than anything. We've never been a family that eats out regularly anyway, but since we've been here, we haven't been able to, with the exception of a couple places, we haven't been able to eat as a family out in a restaurant. And now the restrictions are even more than they used to be. It used to be no more than 4 people after a certain time, and now it's no more than 2 people. And so it's taxing. I am thankful that we are all here together, but it is very, very taxing. Okay, now to the good portion, all the likes. Again, these are in no particular order, just how I wrote them down. So the first is how much they love kids here. I have never lived anywhere where they love kids this much. I mean, it is adorable to see the ajumas, which is what we call the Korean grandmothers. They just fawn over kids. I mean, they a lot of them wear aprons with multiple compartments, and I mean, they'll just pass candy out to kids. I've gotten free produce when I have my kids with me at certain markets or produce stands. They love patting my kids' heads, and they say something that I'm not going to repeat here because I'm totally going to butcher the word, but essentially it means precious, cute, and they just really love kids. And so, oh, there goes one of mine now. Yeah, so that has been really awesome to experience here, because I feel like in the States, being out with my kids, it was, you kind of never knew what you were gonna get. You were either gonna get around people who just were annoyed that you had your kids with you, which I've experienced many of times, especially because we homeschool, and so I always have my kids with me. Here I haven't experienced that. You know, kids are just so welcome, and people aren't bothered when kids make noises that kids make, when they're just being silly and running around. And when our first couple months here, our son was so excited to, I mean, he just gets like sensory overload sometimes, and so, you know, walking down alleys, we would have to constantly remind him, you know, you can't run because there's scooters zipping in and out, there's people all over. He was just really excited, and we had multiple experiences of him accidentally cutting people off, or just, you know, walking right in front of them, whatever it may be. And they were always super kind and gracious about it. And so I will definitely miss that, just that aspect of how much they really revere children here. They truly see them as the blessing that they are, and I've never lived in a culture like that, so I will miss that. The second is the markets and produce stands. They're amazing. I will, it is on my list to get a video of a market by us that's called the 49 Market. It is a once in a lifetime experience. I mean, it is the coolest thing. They have everything from clothes and home goods to seafood and produce, and a lot of artisans making their own work. It's unbelievable, and very, very, very affordable. So we have been loving that. We have a produce gal actually that we've been going to for the majority of our time here. She's literally right down the street from us. And one thing I really love about shopping here is if you shop local and you are a loyal customer, they actually over time give you really good deals. So I'm able to get seasonal produce super cheap, which is amazing. The third thing I love is the public transportation. It is so efficient and so affordable. So affordable. We have what's called T-Money cards, and it's just a reloadable card that you can use on the train, taxis, and buses. And we loaded our cards in February when we got here, and it is now August, and I haven't had to reload them. And I loaded them each with 50,000 won, which is about $48, give or take, on the exchange rate. And we use public transportation for everything to get, you know, further than general walking distance. And I have yet to have to reload them at all. I think the last time we went out, so you scan your card coming and going on whatever transportation you're using. And I think the last time we went somewhere, our cards still have about $18 on them. So it's super cheap. A lot of places that we go to that are within an hour, it's about $1, maybe $1.50 for the transportation. So super cheap, very, very, very efficient. And they make it so easy. There's apps that we use to figure out the train schedules, the bus schedules, super easy. Another thing I love is Daiso. So this one is funny to put on my list because Daiso is actually a Japanese company, but they are everywhere also in Korea. So we have the closest ones near us. We have just a regular, like one flat layout one. We have a 3-story one by us, actually two, yeah, a 3-story and a 2-story. And then in Seoul, the capital, there's an 11-story one. I have yet to go there, but it is on my list. It's just amazing. So a Daiso is like a very, I say a very classy dollar store. I mean, everything they have, it's super clean, very well organized. They have amazing seasonal products. Just, I mean, they have everything. They have crafting stuff, they have home stuff, lots of home stuff. Their storage is amazing. I've been actually stocking up slowly over time on a lot of their storage stuff because I want to have all of that moved with us. They have, you know, stickers and art supplies and snacks. They have a huge, well, depending on which one you go to, most of them have a decent sized snack section. Toys, it's amazing. And not everything is $1. There are some things that I think the most I've ever spent on one item at Daiso is about $5,000, which is about $4.50. So yeah, it's just amazing. We just got one right by us, maybe like a 10-minute walk. It opened 2 months ago, I think, 1 or 2 months ago, and it's just amazing. I will definitely miss Daiso. They also, my favorite thing so far is these vitamin shower filters they have, and they have different ones. They have jasmine scented, lemon, cherry blossom. I can't remember if there's another one, but they actually do make a difference. So the water here is very, very hard. And when we first moved into our apartment, my skin and hair just felt super dry and brittle. And so we started using those, and I've noticed a world of difference. So Daiso is amazing. Next is the convenience stores here. Okay, so we have here, the most common convenience stores that we have are 7-Eleven, CU, and GS25. And I actually was surprised to see 7-Eleven here, you know, because if you're coming from the States, it's not something that you would expect to see, but we have 7-Elevens everywhere. And typically convenience stores are on every corner. I mean, just where we live, we have 4 within a 2-minute walking radius. So they're everywhere, and these are not like American convenience stores. So they have the standard stuff that you would expect at a convenience store, but they are just so amazing. Like their snack selection, they have, one of my favorite things is they sell these cups of ice. So you just buy the, you don't actually pay for the cup of ice, but you pay for, they have a bunch of different concentrated drink mixes. And so you just pick whichever one you want. And they have coffees and teas and whatever. And then you purchase that, and then, you know, you pick your cup of ice, and then you have a nice, super cheap, I think they're like 800 won, which is maybe about 75 cents for a drink. They have just, it's also good. And you can buy meals at the convenience store. Their desserts are amazing. The best cheesecake I've ever had in my life has come from the convenience stores here. So it's just amazing. I will miss just the cleanliness and the assortment and the quality of stuff at a convenience store, and just the fact that they're everywhere. So you don't even need to worry about running out of anything, or if you're out exploring, if you're afraid you're going to run out of whatever it is, chances are there's going to be a convenience store by you. Hence the name convenience store. They are very convenient here. The next is, this is an aesthetic thing that I so appreciate, but so now that it's more, it started in spring. When spring started, I noticed they had started planting flowers everywhere. And so it's just so beautiful now that everything is fully bloomed, and they have, I mean, flowers everywhere. They have them on the main strip of the Sed, which, watch out for a video coming about that soon. They have them all along the walkway to the train station. They have them on this one bridge going towards this one area we go to a lot, they just really are very good at making things look pretty and keeping them alive also. So I just really appreciate that. It adds just such a really just sweet element to the landscape when you, especially, you know, where we are, how I was talking earlier about just being smack dab in the center of a city. It's nice when you go on these walks and it kind of makes you feel like you're a little separated from all of that. So I do really enjoy that. The next is the cafes. So cafes here are amazing. And again, they are everywhere. They are like convenience stores everywhere. And so most cafes have the standard stuff, you know, coffee and desserts. They love their desserts here. We have one cafe we particularly love that has macaroons, and I have never in my life had a macaroon until moving here, and amazing. I've been missing out my whole life on macaroons. They're so good. They have this thing here called honey butter bread, and oh, it's so good. It's so good. I might have to just do a separate video just for food because there's so much good food here, and I think I might do that. I might just do a separate video for food. Stay tuned. So cafes are super fun. They also have pet cafes, which we've been to a few, and so they have different ones. We've been to a dog cafe and a cat cafe, and it is exactly as it sounds. You get your drink, that's basically like your admission ticket in, and then you just sit wherever you want to sit and you hang out with pets, and it is amazing. So our cat is back in the States with my dad for the time that we're here, and so we've been really missing her. So to get our fix, we go to these cat cafes, and it's just the best thing ever. I mean, talk about a mood booster. So they're amazing. Let's see, next, food. I'll just do a separate video on food because I feel like I could talk for 20 minutes alone just on food. Food out here is incredible. We have yet to try anything that we were like, that's not really good. So food's amazing. I'll go more into detail in a separate video. Oh, and then I had, oh, hang on, before I get to that, let me finish. I also love, on base, we have, it's called ITT, and it's Information Tickets and Travel. And they do trips every single month that you can book, and they cover everything. They cover your transportation and your admission, and and very, very affordable. So we have been taking advantage of that, and with the exception of July, we've taken a trip every single month. And so we've gotten to see so many things that we likely wouldn't have seen otherwise. So we've really been enjoying that. Another thing I love is my husband and I, this is just on the base, but it's something that we will for sure miss, is every Tuesday we do Trivia Tuesdays at the club on base, and it is just such a nice, fun event during the week to look forward to. We've been going almost every single week since we've been here, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 weeks that we missed. So that we just love it so much. It is so fun. Another thing I love here is the cosmetic and medical care. So I'm actually getting laser hair removal while we're here on a few different areas, and it is amazing and so affordable. I did it for a little bit, a short stint in the States, and then it just got way too expensive. I couldn't keep up with it. And here, I'll just give you a frame of reference. So for underarms, for 5 sessions here is $40. So super, super, super affordable, well worth it. Where I go, it's just, they're amazing. They speak really good English, and they're just really, really sweet. So I definitely appreciate that the cosmetic procedures, routines are very affordable here. Facials, massages, all of that really makes, those are things that I enjoy. And so I really appreciate that they are affordable and just super convenient. Also with the medical care, that it just blows my mind how affordable medical care is here. So I have not yet had to, aside from getting a prescription off base, I have not had to do any type of medical care, but I do have a friend that had to get a cast and x-rays, and she paid less than $100 off base. And we're back, sorry for the interruption. So then I also wanted to add on here, I asked my kids what their likes were, and I just thought it was really funny, so I had to share. So my son, he said his favorite thing so far is the McDonald's here. So we are just not huge fast food people, and McDonald's especially, my kids have not eaten there very much. No shaming any of you who do. But so they were kind of familiar with regular McDonald's in the States, but we've gone to the McDonald's near us a couple times and he loves it. They do have, you know, like a regular hamburger and chicken nuggets, but they also have things, they have like a shrimp burger and a bulgogi burger, just, you know, very Korean style things. And so it's really actually cool to see how that it's so different here than in the States. And my husband, who's been to various places overseas, he said it's pretty much the same in a lot of foreign countries you go to. When you go to their McDonald's, they have things very specific to that location. And so I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. So one of my daughters, of course, she said her favorite thing is food, just food in general. She's really been enjoying that. And then my other daughter, one thing, she didn't say it was her favorite thing, but she did say it's something she really likes. And that is going back to what I said previously about there not really being any traffic laws here. She said she does enjoy being able to cross the street whenever she wants. You don't have to wait for the walking man. So some intersections will have the signs, the walking signs, but truthfully, we've gotten so comfortable now with where we're at that you just look all around you, and if it's clear, you go. I mean, that seems to be the normal thing out here. People don't get tickets for jaywalking. There's really not any repercussions, it doesn't seem like, for doing it. Yeah, so, you know, it's not something I would have ever condoned in the States, but when in Korea, you know, it's just different. So that is all of our likes and dislikes, and I can't believe that we are already 6 months in, and now I just already know that the rest of our time here is going to be on the downward slope. So I do plan on doing another 6-month update after, you know, the next 6 months, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and